Hollywood Jackson here for Studio 863, and today I'm going to show you how to set up the iRig Stomp I/O as a MIDI controller in the Reason 10 DAW. So if you've been watching the channel, you know that we've purchased the AmpliTube 4 software and the AmpliTube 5 and a bunch of the IK Multimedia software. We broke down and bought the iRig I/O Stomp, and we've had a lot of trouble. We were hoping that we could use it as a MIDI controller in the studio, and one of the problems that we had was we already have an interface in the studio, and so when we plugged in the iRig, it is an interface, and so it caused a freaking mountain of problems in the studio with the audio ins and outs because it wanted to choose between the iRig Stomp I/O and our current interface. And so I think that I've figured a way to turn off the ins and outs on the iRig and use it as a MIDI controller. We still have some issues. So if you watched the last video on this, you know that we were able to use the mod wheel on the keyboard to control the wah pedal. And so I figured if it would work with the keyboard, then there ought to be a way for me to make it work with the I/O Stomp. So I did indeed find a way to do it. There's still some issues with it that I haven't solved, but we're moving forward. It actually is working, and I'm going to show you how I did it. Go to Edit, go to Preferences, and go to your control surface. Now, currently you'll see that it's the iRig Stomp I/O MIDI in, and it's enabled. Now, before that, it was showing both. I've already actually done this once to make sure it works. And so there was two. It was the iRig I/O MIDI, and there was another one that was the I/O Control, I think. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this manually again so that you can see what I'm talking about. Okay. You can see it's got the iRig Stomp I/O Control and the iRig Stomp I/O MIDI. So when I've tried to use just the control, none of the MIDI stuff works at all. So I'm going to show you how I did this. All right, so you're going to want to choose iRig Stomp I/O MIDI in, and this says 0. So I'm not really sure. I guess that's the channel that it's on. All right, so once that's selected, you can move on to your channel. You want to click on the guitar channel, and I've already got the channel set up with the AmpliTube software. Okay, so you're going to go all the way back to the top, go to Hardware Interface, go to Advanced MIDI, click on Channel 1. You go select Guitar 1 audio track, AmpliTube 4. Now you're going to scroll back down to the rack. Now you're going to right click on that channel that you're going to use, and you go to Create Track. Now this is going to create your MIDI track so that when you record, it actually records the MIDI as well as the guitar track. All right, so once you've got that done, now you're going to go back to your rack. You'll go to open your rack up again. I'm going to go to presets. I'm going to change this out because I like the wah pedal, and I love the Joe Satriani rig, man. I just enjoy so many of the rigs, and like I said, we have the AmpliTube 5 software as well, but I still haven't learned how to work the AmpliTube 4 software fully, so I'm still stuck on it. But I did get a chance over the last few days to power up the AmpliTube 5 software and mess with it, and I'm going to go back and check with the standalone version of this to see if everything works the same way. So I'll be making another video about that too. All right, so I'm going to select the Joe Satriani wah lead. We're going to go back to the Stomp box section. Now what you're going to do is the same thing we did in the last video. You're going to right click, go to Assign MIDI, Learn Wah. And what it's going to do is when you select that, you hit that wah pedal and voila, there you have it. And so that's all there is to it. And the cool thing is now I'm actually running through our studio interface, but I'm using the iRig Stomp as my controller for this wah pedal. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go back and I'm going to show you how this records in the sequencer. All right, and so as you can see, it actually works now. The only problem that we've had so far is it acts as only one channel. I've not figured out how to set it up where it can go through all 5 pedals. You have 4 switches and 1 expression pedal, and so far the only thing I've been able to get to work is the expression pedal, and I don't quite understand the reason why, but there you have it. When you use the standalone version of the AmpliTube software, it actually works quite well. All the switches work, all of the expression pedals work, everything works. The parameters, the tuner, the whole shebang. So I'm not really sure why it's not operating the same exact way in the DAW, which is the reason we bought this thing, so we can use it as a MIDI controller. We didn't necessarily want to use it as an interface. And so we're gaining some ground anyways. We've got at least one controller working. It's the expression pedal, but you can set that to the distortion pedal or whatever. And generally, for me, when I'm in the studio, I'm either using the pedal for a wah or I'm turning the distortion between clean and dirty. But I would like to be able to switch between rigs like the Stomp does in the live mode. You can actually switch between different cabinets and different amps. And I would like to be able to utilize those features in my DAW. All right, so I sent an email to the tech support team over at IK Multimedia just a few days ago, and they responded and asked me if I could make a video showing them the issues that I'm having. So this part of the video is special just for them. So if you guys over at IK Multimedia are watching this channel, please feel free to like, subscribe, comment, and share those links. And if you'd like to sponsor a cool channel, you're in the right place. We would love to have a kick-ass sponsor like IK Multimedia. So hopefully they can help me get this figured out and we can find a solution to this problem. And as always, I'll be sharing the results with everyone here on the Hollywood Jackson channel. So here we go. It doesn't matter what we set the preferences to in the MIDI mode. And I'm turning off the iRig IO, and I'm going to control surface. And as you can see, the lights don't even light up the same way. Normally you get a red light when it's off, a green light when it's on. As you can see, we are in the Stomp mode. I'm plugged into the USB. Alright, now when I go to add manually, what we get is manufacturer. Of course, we don't have one in the Reason software. And you can have MIDI controller, MIDI control keyboard. And it doesn't matter. You MIDI control service, MIDI keyboard,
MIDI multi-channel control keyboard, multi-channel control surface. So this time I'm going to select multi-channel control surface. Alright, we're going to go down to the MIDI input. I'm going to select the IO Stomp control. I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to click on find. And when it gets the MIDI signal, it's going to register. So we click on find. It's showing the iRig Stomp IO MIDI in 0, and that's pedal 1. You can hit try again. Pedal 2, iRig Stomp IO MIDI in, try again, and that's the same thing, and try again, and you get the same thing. And then when you hit the expression pedal, you get the same thing. So doesn't matter. And notice there's no green light, no red light. It's just red lights only.
I hope I was able to help you guys out. I'm Hollywood Jackson for Studio A63. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, comment, and share those links. And just press on the bell icon if you'd like to receive notifications on the latest music and videos from Studio A63. If you like what you see, go ahead and click on that like button. And while you're at it, reach over and hit that subscribe button too. If you got any questions or comments, please leave them down below or just send us an email. I'm Hollywood Jackson for Studio A63. Thanks for watching.